Vision. Yes, it's a very, very beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I'm always very excited, of course, to sit down here and talk about what has to concern everything you need to know about the home, everything you need to know about motherhood. Yes, motherhood is not just an experience for the women alone, it's an experience for the men alone. True, then you are supposed to cling to your TV and be part of this program. My name is Rachel David White, and I am always delighted to be your host on this program. Well, today we'll be talking about something that concerns both a man and a woman, like I said earlier. So draw closer, we've got a lot to talk about. Yeah, as a woman, conduct of your house, just like the president governs the country and oversees every affairs, of course, that is how you are as a woman. Your house, your children, preparing them for school, even preparing your husband for work, preparing yourself, keeping the house clean, a whole lot is in your hands. And I'm still going to go back to the president. Like the president, who's got special advisors, of course, essays, commissioners, ministers, and the rest, of course, or like the governor. Of course, those are people that he, gives other duties to. Oh, help me oversee this, help me oversee. Who can help you? Those are the people you can assign duties to. And of course, you supervise. But today, I am going to talk about introducing a man into the housekeeping process. Yes. Most times you hear a man say, I love to help my wife. I don't like seeing her stressed. Oftentimes you hear a man say, oh, I don't like doing chores at all. It's a woman's thing. Some other time you hear a man say, she didn't tell me. She didn't ask me to. I would. Or sometimes you hear a man say, my wife doesn't know how to talk to me. I would be helping her. So today we are going to talk about introducing a man into the housekeeping process. Yes, there are some persons who may disagree and say, no, housekeeping can never be a man's job. Well, maybe you have people to do them for you, so you don't even do it yourself. That's another thing. But it is important that while grooming the children, things, of course, to just make him part and parcel of everything that is going on in the house. It is very important that you do that. Well, today on this program, we'll be speaking to a man who is married, and of course, I don't know if he helps his wife, but we'll get to find out. And also, we'll be speaking to a woman who is married as well, and of course has children, has a husband. What does the husband do? How does it come in? Is there any special way she gets to psych the husband to come into the housekeeping process? And of course, we hear from both of them in the course of this program. So let's quickly try to establish contact with them, and of course, when we come right back, we'll talk properly. We'll go on a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, I'm still here, Rachel David White, and this is the program Inside Motherhood. Of course, we hang out here every Saturday, of course, 3 to 4, to talk about motherhood issues, things you need to know when you come into motherhood. So even if you're not a mother, even if you're not a father, as you would sure remember, oh, there was a time I used to listen to, some, I learned something, and then you can actually get to practice that thing when it's time. So draw closer. We are about to talk. And I told you today we'll be talking about introducing a man into the housekeeping process. Yes. How can you talk to your man to be part of the housekeeping process, to help? Housekeeping has to do. So that is what we're talking about. And already we are going to be joined by Abraham Emai Song. He's going to be part of the conversation. And of course, he's a man, so I really love to hear from his angle, because oftentimes I meet a man who says, oh, my wife doesn't invite me to come help. I would be helping. And then you meet a man that says, oh, I don't like doing it at all. Not like I like seeing her stressed anyway. And he gets to help me. So we'll just find out from their angle, of course, what it takes, of course, to introduce the man into the housekeeping process. And also we'll be joined by gets to Abraham Emma, who is already waiting for us. Hi, good afternoon, Barrister Emma.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. I'm very me. Well, it's got a lot to do with you, as long as you have a home.
Yeah, awesome. Happy to be here. My wife is doing amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Hmm. Do you help her when it comes to, doing chores, or do you even believe it's even right? A typical African tradition, men are not found in the kitchen. Men are not found washing clothes, maybe the women's clothes, or helping with the kids' clothes. But I understand that, oh, the world has changed, and right for a man to even let me use borrow words of some men, subject themselves to helping the women with housekeeping.
Oh, thank you very much for that question. I was raised a bit differently, maybe from other African. My dad always taught us, that women are fragile beings, even though, of course, they are strong. They are strong people, but they are take the heavy load. So in my house, I do a lot of cleaning. I love to clean, so I clean a lot. My wife, sometimes women can delay to get ready, and what I do is I help my wife to iron her clothes. I make sure I iron her clothes, get her bath water ready, to make sure that we can meet up with engagement, as opposed to just being upset as to why she's late. Because of course women have to do makeup and other things. And I also help I just help out anywhere I can. I help in the kitchen, and men and women should help each other the best way they can. Yeah, and that's my belief on that.
Okay. There's one question I want to ask. At what point do you just say, I need to help my wife? For example, and it shall be given to you. So you didn't ask me to help you, maybe carry the generator. You didn't ask me to help you, and then you're doing all by yourself. So I believe you can do them. So keep doing them. So at what point do you help? Do you just wait until you're being asked to?
You care enough to make sure the burden on them is less. So I look out and see whatever I can help with. I just ask the question, can I help you? I don't like people, even when my family comes, I don't like stressing my wife. I like her to sleep well and well taken care of. And
Wow.
so I just look out to.
Coming from a man, and I'm like, which part of the world are this kind of men from? Well, don't mind me. Okay, so this is me inviting the public feel. That's how you can join the conversation. We'll also see if we can get to be blessed Daniel. Of course, you can be part of the conversation as well, because I love to hear from a woman. I love to hear from our own angle. How is it being done over there? Does she have I don't know. I don't want to start comparing, but I just want to hear from her. So once she's here, we'll get to find out how it is from her own angle. Okay, let's see if she's able to join us. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Good afternoon. Be blessed, Daniel. Welcome to
Good
the show. It's
afternoon.
Inside Motherhood on Spectrum Television. It's I must say, I'm very excited to have you on the show. Emma is song, and then of course
Okay.
I also try to find out how it's going with him in his house. At what point does he come in to help the wife? And of course, I'll just say a little of what he and loves to pamper his wife and love to have her relax and be taken care of, in his words. So that's from his own point, and this is based on his background, how he was brought up right from childhood. So let me ask you, you're a woman. Oftentimes I hear some men say, oh, my wife didn't ask me to help, I would have helped them. Some of us are lucky to have husbands who cook. Some of us are unlucky. I wouldn't say totally unlucky. Of course, they can do other things, but it's acts. I would have helped her clean. I would have helped her wash. I would have helped her do one or two things, but she didn't ask. And God says, ask. When you ask, you shall get it. So, there are some men that say, oh, there must be a special way my wife should talk to me to be able to psych me enough to come be part of housekeeping. What is your take on this? In
Okay.
fact, do you even think it's right for a man to come into housekeeping process, or is just a woman's job?
Honestly, I generally, some men don't really like chores, honestly. And on the other hand, there are some that, home training is what their parents taught them and they've grown with it, this sense of responsibility.
Mm,
And then from there, they like to now having their own home, their own wife and all that. So, so I think it's a normal. It's not. That's I'd say it's normal because we're all human.
okay, so you feel, come on, it's supposed to be a two-way thing. A man is supposed to help in the house, but say you want your husband to help you. Do you have a special way you start
Mm.
teasing him? Oh, Mr. Daniel, or honey, those nice names. I need your help. Could you come help me wash clothes? And then you keep doing this every time you want him to help you, or do you just expect him to? Oh, he's seen that you have a lot on your plate. He's supposed to come help you.
Well, there's a reason why I'm laughing. Normally, I don't really ask for help because if he sees me struggling, he will actually help without me asking.
Wow.
But there is this time that he'll be tired. You know he's tired, and you really need this help, and you just have to find a way to tune your.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Let me get to Emma now. Barrister. Barrister, what do you have to say?
Okay.
Okay, I think I can't hear you. If you can hear me, Barrister, just hold a second. I can hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I
Can
can
you hear
hear
me
you.
now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll give a little story. I'll give a story.
Okay.
There's a time my wife was telling me we need to change the knives in the house. And I kept pushing it aside. I'm like, no, use the knife. Then one day she said, please, honey, help me cut the chicken. And when I tried to cut the chicken, I saw that the knife was up. When men start to wear the shoes that women wear and start to do some of the things that women do, they'll understand why a woman needs some assistance and
Wow.
needs some load carried off her shoulder. So I think more men need to, put themselves in the women's shoes. These people are human beings. They also, most of them also have jobs right now, just like you at your job. And when you go back home, like everybody can be looking for you to still cook. If a man can cook, he could cook for you or he could buy you some food outside. But we need, lessen the burden of women. A lot of women are depressed in their marriages because husbands, I think as men and families, we need to start training our male children to do better because like she said, the way you trained plays a big role in how you see the role of a man and a woman in a home. Yes.
Of course, there are challenges that may sometimes I think there are reasons why some things happen the way they are, apart from the one factor that we've been mentioning, which is background. Okay, let's say the guy, or if they were the last born of the family or the only boy in the family, oh, you wouldn't do this, you wouldn't do that. So they didn't learn, they didn't get to know. Eventually, they got married, and then their wives get to.
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay, say, I hope you heard what Barrister Emma said.
Not really. It wasn't that clear.
Oh, okay.
It was
I'm
faint.
going to have to explain a little. Okay, so he talked about the same background factor that you mentioned, and of course, he said sometimes a man needs to wear the woman's
Okay.
shoes. Okay, he gave a little story of when
Wow.
he had knives. Do you want us to buy? You know, if he never had to help cut the chicken, he wouldn't know that knife was blunt and the woman has been suffering, you know, going through stress in order to use that knife to do something. Now,
Okay.
what do you think, apart from the fact that, oh, they may have been the only boy in their family or the last born, or they were not just fortunate enough to be trained to do some chores? Of course, I know that people learn. We learn. It's not everything we knew how to do. There are some amazingly women sometimes, you know, and a man would say, I can't help her
Yeah.
because, you know, of this or that. But what do you think are one of those factors that let me say, some of those factors that hinders a man from helping a woman in the house? Could it be from the woman?
That's
Okay, let's look at it
a
from the
tough one.
woman's end and from the man's end as well.
Okay. Maybe the man. Okay, from the woman's side, I think some women might actually feel entitled. You have to actually put it out there for him to see that you are struggling. Maybe you are tired, or he steps in to help to relieve that. No, I don't think it works that way. So I think that's one of the factors. Entitlement.
Okay. And then from the
So
from the man, from the man.
I don't really know from the man side. I can't really place. I don't know what
Okay,
to say.
let me get to Barrister Emma and hear from him. There's one thing about a man, and
Yes.
then
Hello.
yeah, there's one thing about a man, and then I think a man was born with extra pride. You know, let's say a woman has a cup of pride that was poured after creation, and then a man's own was poured twice or five times. Then some men just have to come and should I say quadruple their own, make it extra, and then just bring the pride back home. What are those factors that you think hinders a man from helping a woman? I know that we've talked about the background factor, and I've explained that as well, but what other things? Okay, you as a man, what are those things that you say, oh, this woman is struggling, but I will not help her because of this?
Okay, so I think it negates a man from like trying to help a woman would be one, like you said, pride. Why should I cook? And that might come from the fact that, oh, maybe he's the sole provider at home, and he feels like he does his own part by his work every day and providing for the family. So that might be some of the factors that stop a man. Another thing might be, lack of understanding of the Bible, because that scripture says man is the head of the house, and the woman to submit to the man has, caused a lot of trouble for people that don't have understanding. If you understand what it means to be the head of everything, and the Bible will tell you as Christ loved the church, and you can see Christ went to the cross for the church. So you're supposed to know that the man is supposed to, the heavy, the thing in the family. Being the head of the home does not mean that you should put everybody under you. When daddy comes, the children are running, the wife is afraid. No, daddy should be someone that try to make life easier for everybody, even if it's cooking a meal for your wife. Then African men are just not romantic. Most of the African men are just not romantic. So they're like, why should I cook? Why should I? My wife don't give birth, so I try to get involved in, changing the diapers, making the baby's food, and it just makes it family. Family is 100. It's not 50.
Yeah.
It's 100%. Everybody's all to make sure that the family works out. So I think pride, ego, lack of understanding, and just the fact that they think they have their own jobs outside, and maybe sometimes they are really just tired. Many men work really hard, so maybe really just tired. I think those could be some.
Network glitches, but I could hear you well. I could hear your point. I'm going to give us an example. I watched the movie, okay, but it happens anyway. I watched the movie, and then the man was helping. It was his turn. It was his turn to. They've been staying outside the country, so they understand that in other climes, a woman has a day, she's going to take care of the baby, cook, and do other chores, and then the next time is the man's own. So it was the man's turn. So they came back, and then they were living happily in Nigeria. It was the man's turn, but they were still practicing, they've grown there, so they know chores is not something that you should choke a woman with, okay? When it's her free time, it's her free time, it's yours, except she just offers to help. Suddenly there was a knock on the door, and that was the man's mom coming in. So the man had to rush, the woman had to jump up from the chair, rush, come carry the baby, pretend to be the one that was making the breakfast, and the man sitting down. Then the mother-in-law came in. Now, both of them just had to pretend because they know that they don't want issues in their home. The mother-in-law having the impression that the woman is punishing the man. What kind of thing is this? It's not happening anywhere in this other part of the world. So they just had to pretend until the mother-in-law came visit and left, and the man continued with his duties. So sometimes like I said, much in the African system, it looks like it is a woman's job, to always do the chores. I am not saying that, right, a woman, it is not a woman's job. It is a woman's job, but where is that a man should help? Let me ask Be Blessed. How often do you think your husband should help you? Because I know some men who would be like, oh, because I did it for you last week doesn't mean I'm going to be doing it for you often, or you should be looking up to me to do it for you often, or you should be subjecting me to doing this. It is not my job. I was only helping you. So if I do it for you once in a while, don't expect it every time. But how often do you, okay, as a woman, say, oh, my husband should be helping me this number of times?
There is no stipulated time or a percentage of help you should get. Personally, I just appreciate the help as it comes. Like I said, I'm not entitled to it, so I wouldn't expect it often.
It says a whole different thing. You are entitled to it. Like this is me bringing in my opinion. I'm going to ask Barrister Emma much later.
Okay.
So you are entitled to it because as much as your husband is entitled to eating your food, like he should be eating your food, it is necessary and compulsory for your husband. Some homes that maids cook, but let's see, maybe a compulsory thing, it's necessary to, I think it's your husband's help is an entitlement. But then that is the part I'm still asking, because there are some men that say you're just being privileged to have this kind of help. It shouldn't come.
Well, why I'm saying that I'm not entitled to it is I'm not really expecting, because I know if I expect and he fails,
I understand.
truthfully, I will feel resentment,
Okay.
That's why I say I'm not entitled. But seriously, deep down, I crave for that help every time I need it. Do you understand?
I can
so I don't really know how to
imagine.
explain it better.
Okay, so Barrister Emma, let me ask. It's not my thing. Then wait, before going there, right? There are some men that say, oh, okay, let me start from the question I asked, Be Blessed. How, and then the other question I asked as well, what are those things that, oh, I can't have my wife send me do this? And then sometimes I hear some men say, this is, like I said, this is just, you're just being privileged. It's not my responsibility. You're just being privileged that I did it for you, okay?
All right, thank you. So I feel marriage is understanding, is having an understanding. So I think wife, she knows when I'm tired. She knows when I came back from work, be tired. So she might not get to help out with some stuff. Or even if she expects that, babe, sorry, I'm really, can I do this another time? Something like that. So it's just, but like I said, I try to help out as often as I can because I think I've come to understand that women are too pressure. I was with my wife in the theater when she gave birth. I stayed in the theater out and I saw the whole process. I was with her for 9 months. I saw the whole experience. And before that, I feel like as a man, I really just help out as best as I can, as often as I can. Because I feel like women need this help. Women need this help. I have a colleague of mine that she went to do a lot, works in her church, she works in the same office and do a lot of work as well. And she went back home and the man was like, why are you coming back this time? Who will be with the children? But the children are your children. So if you could
You know, I'm
have some
surprised hearing this from a man.
yeah, and I was she told me because you're that kind of man. And someone was telling me why we do that. Why it's a woman's job to go to the market, and this was a woman. And I said no, it's not. If I could go to the market, I will. If I have time and I'll do that just to make the job, less for her. So it's just understand. Couples should really just understand. And anything that my wife would do, maybe she asked me to do, I can't do. So except she asked me to do something about, I'm still learning how to fast, so I'll beg her. So, but anything I do know how to do and can help out, I'll definitely help as best.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what are those things, because of time, we just have 5 minutes to round up. What are those things you say, no, 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 a woman should never ask a man to go this way. This is extreme.
Only things that I don't. If I know how to do it, I think marriage. People understand what marriage is. Marriage is fine. So anything I can do, like power that I can do, I'll do it. I'll do it. But then we have an understanding. Knows when I'm tired. I know I'm tired.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Ephraim, and my song. Okay, let me get to Be Blessed before we round up the show. B.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that you're one strong woman, I know. So what are those things that for you, you would say, no, I can't send my husband to do this? Or maybe if you see another man.
Do you know why I'm laughing?
Why are you laughing?
One. Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I remember when someone said his husband refused to do a sensitive thing. It's something I cannot mention here since on air. And she was crying about it. I saw it online. So I think that's the that's the extreme. Like he shouldn't do that one. He shouldn't, and he shouldn't wash that thing. Don't
Oh,
wash
okay.
it. I
Now
don't
I
want to wash.
understand. But
Yeah.
let me come in. Let me come in there. That's your opinion, right?
Okay.
For example, washing undies, asking your husband to wash your undies. That's your own extreme.
Absolutely.
Now, there are
Yes.
some men, maybe when their wives put to bed, right? And then they don't
Yeah.
want, no matter the amount of maid they don't have, don't wash my wife's undies. It's my job to do that because my wife just put to bed, okay? And it's sensitive. I don't
Yeah.
trust anybody else enough to do that apart from me. So, the only thing I would say is don't make it an entitlement. There are some men who would not
Yeah.
like to do it. So you just know, oh,
Yeah.
my man doesn't like to do this one. But that's yes, and at the same time, I like telling people uh, don't because it happens in Mr. A's house, so you want to copy it, and it should happen. Oh, if Emma is helping his wife do everything, my husband will go back home and get upset with my husband. He's not helping me do this. No, come on. If it's not happening in your house, maybe there are better ways to do that, you know, to get it to happen. And if it doesn't just happen, you've been married for a couple of times, you're finding other measures to help yourself. Please continue. All right, thank you so
Yes,
much,
that's
B.
true.
Thank you so much for being part of the conversation.
I'm
Thank
grateful.
you.
Thank you.
All right, so back to Barrister Emma. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. You know, today I really learned a lot from this conversation. I really learned one more thing I'd like to ask. Is there any special way you think a woman, maybe you want them to help you, maybe in the kitchen you have to tease them or help you wash, you have to find better ways?
Yeah, I think every just their husband, because both I work for one for another. I'm not very big on flat. If you flatter me, you might be wasting. I'm not big on flat to help and why. But I'm not the one to say, oh, my king, darling. But most men love to be praying. Some men love to be done. Also, just understand your husband and get him to do what, and then that should work. All men are different. That
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Barrister Emma. It's been a great time talking to you on the show. Thank you. Do have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a good day too.
All right. Yes, back to the people. I feel we had so much time, or we would, or we should have had so much time to talk. And of course, there are so many things I would love to talk about. And I'm sorry we couldn't take calls, but you could still drop your text messages, your WhatsApp messages. You know where to drop them on my personal DM, so I can address them and, of course, answer your questions on our next episode next week, Saturday. So you can still copy the phone number, drop a text message, or a WhatsApp message will address your issue as well. Okay, so remember that in all of these things that we're talking about, what works for Be Blessed cannot work for Emma's wife. So she has to understand her husband, like Emma says, has to know what her husband likes. There are some men that loves the teasing. Oh, you're my personal Lord and Savior, and the rest, you're my king. And then there's some men that just maybe background and exposure makes them know that, oh, I need to help my wife out. So if you don't have such a man, don't just go home getting angry. Find another way around it, and then it's going to work for you. Oh, meanwhile, thank you so much for staying glued to your TV station, to your TV set rather. It's been the program Inside Motherhood here on Spectrum Television. But don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website spectrumtv.ng, and also follow us on Twitter at spectrumtonline. Catch you again next week, Saturday, same time here on Spectrum Television. My name is Rachel David White. Enjoy your weekend.